We're still in phase 0, which is sussing things out, getting the lay of the land, getting to know the neighbors and building basic infrastructure. We have our shed, we have a very basic toilet and shower, and we're planning phase 1. So I'll just show you now where we're thinking about building our next big piece of infrastructure. So it's going to be in this corner of the field, which is just below that high point, and it's so that's the other high point. So in terms of where it is in the field, it's in this corner, and our purpose, our overall goal here is to build a hostel, right? So that's not changing, but in order to build a hostel that's good enough for people to come far and wide to visit us, there needs to be facilities worth visiting. So we've decided that we want to build a big training facility. So it's going to be a big open space with 2 walls. So the walls will make an L shape and they'll be 6 meters high. So it's going to be pretty big. And on those 2 walls we'll have rock climbing facilities, so like bouldering, and it'll be like 20 meters wide. And then all of the open space under the big high roof is going to be padded, and it'll be used as a martial arts dojo. So we feel that that facility will provide value to just the local community. They can come and use these facilities, and for the guests that ultimately will be drawn to our valley here. So this requires a lot of planning. So we have to plan all the drainage. We're going to have to get a machine in and make a big pad here to construct on, and then make sure that when it rains that all of the water gets redirected through the canal that we also have to dig. And then we have to design and plan what materials we're going to use, and that's what we're doing right now. So that's where a lot of our attention is focused now, is trying to plan that. In addition to that, while we're trying to build this space, we would love to be able to host people like backpackers and people that are interested, that want to come out and lend their time and skills in exchange for a place to stay. Like, we're close to the beach, people can surf, and it's a pretty nice lifestyle over here. So, which brings us to the next logistical challenge, which I'm trying to overcome, and that is we want to build a campsite with semi-permanent tents. So they're these cotton teepee bell tents that you can get. You might have seen them before, and we're trying to order maybe 10 of those. They don't make them in El Salvador, so the logistical challenge is getting them from China, because if you get it from anywhere else, you're just dealing with a middleman, and they charge 3 times more than if you were to go direct to the supplier. And obviously going direct to the supplier, if you're buying 10, it makes economic sense, but we just have to figure out how to get them to El Salvador. So that's where a lot of my time is being spent now, is trying to overcome that obstacle. So we'd like to get the digger in there and just dig out a load of pads and just set up those tents, hook them up with double mattresses, lights, and maybe a fan, battery powered fan. So that would be a comfortable space for people to live while they help us build this. And then we've got so many other plans of things that we can build once we've got enough people here. Like, we're going to try and build a chicken coop, get chickens, build a vegetable garden. Planting fruit trees is something I've been putting off, because we need to plan where our water is being drained out when it rains. So we think we know where that's going to go now. So I might start planting fruit trees now, because obviously they take the longest to grow. But we're going to build like a greenhouse for vegetables, and there's so many possibilities, as I've mentioned before. And then that will be phase 1. And from phase 1, we'll see where we go. But roughly phase 2 then would be building up on that high part there. We'll be building like natural built cabins, like maybe timber frames made out of local timber, and then clay bricks or plaster, just experimenting with natural materials. And as we expand up onto that hill, then we're going to build the big community or big communal area there, which will be the bar, the restaurant, and your dance floor and whatnot. But also, while we in phase one, I forgot to mention, while we build this training facility, we'll also build like a cafe so people can come and relax after their session, get like a milkshake, a coffee, a beer, or a fruit juice, or whatever tickles their fancy. And then obviously it will just be a social place to hang out. So we'll have it kitted out with seating areas, bean bags, whatever. And that's another thing that has to be logistically resolved, is we want to get these stretch tents, which come from South Africa. They're these industrial grade canopies that you've definitely seen them before at festivals or events. And we're trying to buy a couple of those second hand from the United States. So that's where our energy has been focused right now. I mean, the shed is more or less, it's adequate for living in for now. It still needs walls and a floor, but myself and Ed were in the middle of laying the foundation to support the wall, but then Ed had to catch a flight back to Ireland because he has a wedding to attend, and he's also going to get a bit of work for a while to save up some more money to invest in the project. We were delighted to see that our cement was still bone dry despite the torrential rain we've been having. And this here is our rainwater that we've been collecting, which comes off the roof into the gutter, and there's a little T-drain on it which fills up our tank. So it's pretty cool making this concrete using the water that we harvested from the rain. We recorded this process using the GoPro, and unfortunately I can't get that footage onto my phone because my iCloud is acting up. So I'll just show you the end product, which is these vertical columns which will go at either end of each wall, and the next step is to do the horizontal iron reinforced concrete, but Ed is gone now, so I need to figure out how I'm going to do that. For the rest of the video, I'm going to show you what life is like in El Salvador outside of our little valley, specifically El Tunco. The main thing to do is surf. There are 2 beach breaks and 2 point breaks that pump out consistent waves 365 days of the year, just a mere 40 minutes walking from our site, or just 10 minutes on a motorbike. Unfortunately, I'm still trying to rehabilitate my knee after I did ligament damage playing football on the local pitch a couple of months ago. So another few weeks until I'm back on the board. This is outside one of the cooler bars, the Pirate Bar or Michela's, where they often have casual live music, and if you can play the guitar and sing a song, you would be more than welcome to hop up. But they've got musicians that come 3 or 4 nights a week, and there's always a bit of a vibe outside. Note the guy on the left hand side there giving it socks. This is La Guitarra, where the bar is actually shaped like a guitar, and they have live music every Friday and Saturday. I've been here about 10 weekends in a row, and there's a different genre of music playing every single week. It's brilliant. It could be Latin rock, American rock, jazz, reggae. I have pledged to go out of my way to learn how to dance better to Latin music, because honestly at this point it's just not good enough. Maybe that's one of the things that we can offer at our activity space is dance classes. If somebody wants to come and teach some styles of dance, we'll be all ears. This is the beach club just beside La Guitarra, which plays reggaeton most of the time, and then they throw in a non-reggaeton song every once in a while just to keep it interesting. A lot of the locals come down from San Salvador on the weekend to party, and there's always an influx of backpackers in El Tunco. Due to my knee injury, I've been forced to stand in goals for the local football team, but it's alright, I'm getting used to it. while Fionn was visiting us, we made the most of his athleticism by getting him to give us a hand moving up all these bricks, which have to be brought up one way or another. So we're doing them 1 by 1 or 2 by 2 as it is now. And there's about 700 bricks, so a few to go. Nice. It's an excellent workout on mostly your shoulders, bit of legs, walking 50 meters uphill with weights, and your forearms get sunburn as well.
The forearms get a serious burn.
Como te digo, donde no hay nadie.
Okay.
¿Cómo le llaman? Desierta, algo así.
Sí, algo así.
No hay nadie.
Virgen.
No. Y dice...
They don't accept card or Bitcoin in the council offices. So I came all this way up, and there's no ATM in the town, so I can't even pay the planning permission bill. What a waste of an hour. Usually it rains during the evening when it gets dark, but sometimes the heavens open up in the middle of the day too, which is why it's so difficult to get work done at this time of year. The wind was so strong the other night that it blew down the tarp, which was protecting our trenches from getting wet, and I can't really put it back up on my own, so don't know how I'm going to resolve that. Thanks everybody for watching this far. I've got to run a few errands now, but I really appreciate your attention, and if you could share the video, like the video, give it a comment, it would help